Hey there guys, Next Strike here, back again for another comic book review, and today we're doing Nightwing Volume 3, Death of the Family. So, Nightwing Volume 3, of course, a continuation of the New 52 story by Kyle Higgins and Eddie Burrows, I think is how you, or Burrows, however you say his last name. And yeah, it's their continued run on Nightwing. Of course, the artist is officially leaving after this book, and they get new artists. A big problem with the Nightwing stories is that there is differing art, and this book is no different. There's, I think, at least 3 or 4 different artists throughout this book, and it's really jarring to go from one to another. And the first 2 issues of this book, like a lot of the other books I've been reviewing, have just been a random story that really doesn't go much of anywhere. I enjoyed Nightwing fighting Lady Shiva, but again, it didn't really go much of anywhere, and it doesn't look like it ever will, so it was kind of pointless to take that away from Tim Drake, because that was more or less his origin, and they put it in Nightwing for some reason, so to do that, it was all kind of pointless. It didn't really pay off. I guess since there is so much different art, I'll go ahead and show you guys. Let's see, okay, so here's the art from the first 2 chapters, which is the same artist, and it's, again, it wasn't even written by the same person. Kyle Higgins did not write the first 2 issues, 13 and, I think it's 14, it's 13, 14. Yeah, he didn't write those 2, and then he wrote The Death of the Family and further on, but he didn't write these 2 for some reason. And then, hold on, after he fights Lady Shiva, then, of course, we go to the Joker and the Death of the Family, and it's the art that you would expect from Nightwing. It's been Eddie's art for the most part. Pretty good stuff, but again, I wish he would have done the art for the whole thing. I don't really understand why he hasn't. Then we get a random little side note story right here, which is actually kind of enjoyable, and the art is not very good. And then, after all that, we get this art at the end, which, again, done by a completely different artist, and it's kind of weird. I'm not really a huge fan of it, to be completely honest. And it stays with that art until the very end of the book. Literally, I think the last page is done by Eddie again. So, art is all over the place. And that's kind of the problem with, like I've expressed before, with these Bat Family stories, and anything really with a lot of crossovers, is that I feel like Kyle Higgins really can't tell the stories he wants to tell because he keeps having to cross into everything. I mean, if you think about it, he had to write Lady Shiva into the New 52 origin that he wrote in order for this new guy to write 2 issues about Nightwing fighting Lady Shiva. Then he had to do Death of the Family to cross over into Scott Snyder's story. And then he had to cross over into what was happening with Damian Wayne for pretty much the rest of the book. So really, I don't feel like this was much of a Nightwing book at all. And that's why it was probably my least favorite of the 3 issues, or the 3 chapters, 3 volumes, I can't talk. The 3 volumes of Nightwing, this one's probably my least favorite. And it's not that it's bad. Again, the stories are just all over the place. I like a consistent story that continues to pay off and continues to tie into the next volumes. And we're just not really getting that too much. So that's why I really look forward to Nightwing Volume 4. Because I don't believe there's any crossovers or any sort of interruptions. It's just Nightwing's story all alone, and I'm so happy for that. I'm so happy for that. Finally. But anyway, not a bad volume, but again, just way too many crossovers. Nightwing doesn't have room to breathe in his own book. And it's not to say that the crossovers were bad or that they didn't have any sort of emotional impact, because they did at times, and some of the short stories are good, but I just feel like a lot more could have been done. That's all I'm saying. I think Kyle Higgins, it's not fair how he's constantly thrown all over the place by DC editorial, and I just wish he could have written his own stuff, his own original stories. But again, it's a problem with a lot of crossovers, and I hope that they fix that at DC soon. Anyway, I guess that's really all I had for now. I think if you're a Nightwing fan and you've been enjoying the New 52 run, pick it up. It's worth it. Again, it's really not even that much considering it's only paperback, so yay. And yeah, I guess that's all I had for now. Thumbs up if you like, subscribe if you like, comment below, let me know your thoughts. I'm finally now going to be able to do newer stuff for my comic book reviews, so yay, and hopefully I'll get caught up soon. So, catch you guys later.